Hello, everybody, and welcome to T-Box Talk, episode 12, presented by OMADA GOLF. My name is Andrew, and today we are joined by Josh, Will, Nikki Shanks in the back, and we're bringing our very first special guest onto the podcast this week. Welcome, everybody, Phil the Thrill.
Woo! Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. So good to be here, boys. So good to be here.
So good to hear your voice, Phil.
Wow, his voice is kind of fucking...
It's crisp.
It's crisp. He might have a podcast voice, dude.
People say that, you know, they have a voice like an angel, and I like, stop it. A voice for radio, for sure.
We'll get to why he's Phil the Thrill in a second. Today's show, we're going to be doing some weekend roundup, some golf news, and we're going to catch up with Phil the Thrill. We're going to get his story, and we're going to do this stand-up stuff again that we tried to do last week. I know. I'm looking at Josh's notes over there, and it's looking like he shortened it up. You know, I saw him watching some tutorial videos on how to make jokes. So we'll see how he does this week. I have another great story. I'm sure we all got some great zingers going on. So let's get right into it. Phil the Thrill. If you're a fan of Barstool, you might have heard the KFC radio episode where Kevin Clancy, KFC, talks about how he's at a wedding and he met this interesting character at a wedding, and he was given the name Phil the Thrill. What's funny is me and Josh have known Phil the Thrill for about 8 to 10 years now, just about somewhere around there. So when we were hearing the story, it was just the funniest thing in the world. So everybody, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Phil the Thrill. We got him on the podcast. We got him on T-Box Talk.
He spent like 30 minutes on one of his episodes talking all about Phil, and it was like...
I don't think it was that long, but, you know, it just... The number just grows and grows after every conversation, it seems like. Yeah.
So were you reached out to at all? Like, hey, can I tell the story, like on Instagram or anything? Or did he just rip it off, like rip the story off, and you were just like, that's me?
There was no warning. There was, you know, it's just, you know, casual Monday, you know, waking up at, 9 o'clock. I get a bunch of texts from the date that, you know, brought me to this wedding.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, my God. She's like, they were talking about you. She's like, it's so fucking hilarious. She's like, you need to listen to this. So I just get, like, this YouTube thing, and I'm like, what? Like, and then, you know, you play it, and, you know, it's funny how, you know, his story is a little different than my story, and, you know, I think that's why I'm here today, to kind of, you know, enlighten you guys a little bit. But it's just crazy because, you know, when someone's talking and it's like, oh, wow, that's what you saw, and this is what I saw.
All right. Well, I know Phil is always the life of every event he's at, so why don't you tell your side of the story, you know?
Yeah, so like I said, I got, you know, asked to go to this wedding, very last minute. I mean, I had like 2-3 days to prepare. Luckily, I just got my suit from the dry cleaners. So, you know, I go to this wedding, and we're, you know, kind of in the main, like, foyer. It was one of those venues where it's like, you know, the wedding first, and then, you know, they clear out the chairs, and then, boom, dance floor. So I'm, you know, in the chair, and I get a little nervous at weddings because I'm like, you know, am I going to pass gas or something? Like, am I going to, like, you know, just scream? Like I just developed Tourette's all of a sudden.
I have that same fear, too, by the way.
Yeah, and it's very weird because you're just, like, you have to be quiet, and you're like, dude, I'm just ready to party. I'm like, I see open bar over there. I'm going to move. I'm going to Heisman grandma. I'm going to knock the cane right out of grandpa's, you know. Like, I'm going for this bar, but, like, my mind's in a different place. So they were talking about, you know, KFC, this, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, my mind's somewhere else. I'm thinking we're going to get food, like, after. Like, I'm like, oh, like, we're going to get some KFC. Maybe it's got the KFC. It's got the KFC Taco Bell. Like, that's what's going on in my head. You know, food, priorities, right? Not the case. So they were talking about the actual KFC guy. And I'm like, why would he be at this wedding? You know, like, no shot. I'm thinking that. So, you know, as the wedding went on, eventually I was like, oh, that guy looks very familiar. You know, like, I'm like, oh, I think I've seen his, like, you know, 1-minute specials. Like, I'm like, that guy. But I couldn't put, you know, my mind to it. I'm at a wedding. And then, you know, like I said, the booze were flowing. And I'm not shy. I'm going to go talk to everybody, which I did. And, you know, that's kind of how the KFC kind of got started. But, you know, towards the end, I kind of looked at him, and when you see someone's face and they're like, you're gonna say it, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get to the point, whatever it is. I was like, you know what? I don't want to ruin this. I'm like, I know where you're from, and I'm like, you're from porn. Now, what he didn't say in the podcast is like, I was like, oh yeah, you were in this video. You were with these 2 chicks. I mean, these girls were hot. And but then the video took a turn for the worse, and then all of a sudden these 2 jack dudes like took control of you, and he's like, whoa. He's like, at first he's like, oh yeah, that sounds like me, and then when I brought the jack dudes out, he's like, yeah, that's not me. You know what I mean? So it was pretty funny. I mean, the guy he's a chill dude. I mean, he has the podcast.
I mean, he was completely infatuated with you. He was like, on that podcast, he raved about Phil. I think, is he who made up Phil the Thrill?
I think he was the one who was saying Phil the Thrill on the podcast.
Because you're known by many names around here. I mean, we've got Philly cheese steak, go the full way. We've got
just Chaz, Phil. He's everywhere.
Phil Mingo,
Phil Mingo. Yeah, you got a million names. You have a great name for alternative nicknames. So
I think the ill, you know what I mean. It's not like a Chris, Chris. Sorry, Chris, but the ill,
ill.
Will.
So you
Will
knew
the Thrill,
Will the Thrill. It's a very rhymable name. But yeah, so on his podcast, he said a bunch of stuff. He was saying how you were dancing with everybody's grandmother and nobody knew who you were. Is that something, after hearing it, was there any beef between, did you feel like he misrepresented the turn of events, or?
No, he definitely got it right. I mean, he's I was like, I couldn't even describe myself like that, I was like, and I was liking it because it's like you go to an event like that and you get a little wild, and it's just like funny what people remember you most about, like my dance moves, and then he was bringing up stuff that I like even forgot about that night, and I was like, there's one where I literally threw like a bunch of napkins down because there's a bunch of people spilling drinks on the dance floor, and this worker. She's like trying to just do her job. I'm like, no. And I grab her by the hands. I throw the napkins, put our feet on them. We start dancing. and like people are just looking at me like, what is this kid doing? And I'm like, dude, I'm feeling it. Right
I think the best part is this isn't like a friend's wedding. Like,
That's
you have no idea who these people are.
Yeah. So it was like,
where does that come from, though? Like, how do you have that like ability to
confidence? Yeah,
is it though? Like, is that?
Oh yeah, it stems from an early age. I used to go to these, Hockomock YMCA dances. It was like a Saturday night, 7 to 10. Basically, the parents would get their kids out, and I'm from Cumberland. I went like 3 towns over because my buddy said, this was gonna be a fun spot, and I like dancing with girls.
Mm-hmm.
I also like dancing with girls I don't even know. So it's it was always fun back then, and I would just go to these dances and just meet random chicks like at a young age, like.
So now that you're a little older, you go
now it's
even
weddings.
older. Now
it's weddings,
50 plus.
Yeah, swinger clubs, whatever.
So you didn't know anybody at the wedding besides your +1, I'm assuming?
Yeah, that was the only person I knew, and then I met the girl that was getting married once. But like that was it. And I just went to this wedding and just rocked it.
So like if you could say one thing to KFC right now that you want him to hear, what would it be?
When are you going to invite me on the show, man?
I agree.
Yeah, facts.
I fully agree with that. I think
we got to get him on there.
So this mission of this podcast right now is to levy up and get Phil to throw his spotlight on KFC's show.
His shining moment.
He
deserves it.
He deserves a rebuttal too, I think. I think there was a lot of I think some of the things that KFC said were probably accurate to the event, but I think he got my guy all wrong.
Yeah, I mean, how would you describe me, Josh?
Phil,
life of the party.
I would describe you personally, unless you've had too many drinks, I would describe you as the most lovable, like enjoyable person to be around in the world. I would want you there at every single thing in fact, I have. He's been around for a long time. Phil actually came in 2017 when we first went to the PGA. Actually, it's the first and only because of all the things that's gone down, but it was the PJ merchandise show, Phil fucking came with me. And the crazy part is like you think he does, like he can do that in a party when he's got, a lot of people, like when I start having drinks too, I mean, I've gotten to the point where I've done full splits in bars and like you know what I mean? Like everybody can hide behind a little bit of alcohol. But this guy, when he's sober, he can do those things. Like he has no fear of rejection on any front. He'll walk up to anybody. He's not mean. He's like, he just has this gift that is like, and it was a gift for many years. Like there were people that we ran into at the show where he would go literally physically into the lane of like people oncoming and he would pull them in, which I was just I was 15, but like still I wasn't really prepared to do that. And he did it. Because he's just got the balls, man. Yeah,
I mean, and a bunch of stories are flooding back. I mean, even that PGA show, you're just meeting random people, and it's funny. I just talked to one guy, and my golf bag has a cooler in it. It's made by Ping, and when I was buying golf bags, I was like, I need to fit the most beer possible in here and keep it cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Will said.
You sound like Will, yeah.
And so happens, I see this guy with the Ping, shoot up a conversation. This guy designed my bag, and I'm like, dude, I was like, dude, you're the best. I'm like, this bag, like, and now, like, this bag, they don't make them like they used to. Everything's gotten smaller and cheaper, right? Yeah. So, like, I have, like, duct tape in this bag, keeping, like, all the ice I can possible in here. It's got different contraptions. But yeah, just meeting them just because you're talking to them. You just got to go up to people.
Well, that's exactly like KFC. Like you out of nowhere, Phil's just like making his rounds around this random wedding and just didn't even know the real KFC was there. Thought it was a fucking chicken wing, and ends up stumbling upon a super. He was one of the originals at Barstool, right?
Correct,
he's like one of the first like 5 in or something like that.
Yeah, around there.
So. He did the same thing at the PGA show. He ended up at one point talking to the buyer of Dick's Sporting Goods. Right. He talked to a guy who was worth about $200 million. And he's like offering him granola bars and talking caddy clean. It was like exceptional.
Yeah. And I was walking down the hall, we had a little lunch break. We always wanted to be, at the booth. But I'm getting lunch and I'm walking. And all of a sudden, I see like a bunch of guys with like earpieces in there, and they're just like all surrounded by me. I'm like, this is weird. I'm walking right next to Donald Trump Jr. and I don't know, and I got Secret Service all around me. I'm just like walking with them. I'm like, this is kind of cool, and like they're all like talking, but like you can tell like at any moment they're just ready. You know what I mean? Like, and here I am. I'm just like walking like an idiot. Just got my like $15 steak sandwich that was like puny, so it's just funny.
Another fun fact about Phil actually, if I'm not mistaken, Phil is the very first person. Phil actually, weirdly enough, is sort of the father of OMADA Golf, of T-Box Talk, of our entire like time in the game, my entire career at FIAN playing golf and everything that passed. I mean, like you've actually been the seed that grew into all of this in a way, because Phil was the very, very first person to take me out onto a golf course. Correct. And it wasn't my brother. It really wasn't my brother. Phil had gotten my brother into it, who they were going to go play, and he invited us, Andrew and I, to go play. And that literally is the seed that started everything.
Yeah. I feel like the godfather.
You kind of are the godfather.
Joshua, let me tell you, my boy. Let me tell you about a thing about golf. All right.
You know what I relate Phil to? Phil is literally Forrest Gump. In Forrest Gump, he's just everywhere all the time. That's Phil. Phil is just golf everywhere.
Honestly, that's a cool compliment. I feel that.
He's just everywhere all the time, and it's especially like going to all those Dave Matthews shows together. Like I know we talk about that a lot on we've mentioned a few times on the podcast, but Phil was part of that first crew that we went up to New York with to go to the SPAC. And like he was part of that crew, and he was lights out. He makes
lights out.
Phil the Thrill makes everything a lot more enjoyable, especially in public, because he'll intermingle you with everybody around you.
He's just the unawkward machine. He doesn't know how to be like. He doesn't feel like a lot of people struggle.
Shame. He doesn't feel shame.
Well, it's like social awkwardness.
Yeah, he doesn't have that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say shame. I mean,
Shame.
No, but like I don't know. I feel like whenever I'm in those situations, I'm like I curl up into a ball until I have like 6 drinks, and then I'm like, okay, now I can talk to people.
I think he's encouraged me a lot in my growth in that area where like I don't really have that fear anymore either. But like I don't know, for whatever reason, these are all the greatest memories and compliments we can give a guy who's just like been such a big influence on us. So I'm first and foremost, thank you to you for coming and also for getting us into the fucking game of golf, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I love it because it's like, when you guys first started, you weren't that good. And then and then as time goes on, I'm like, now they're better than me, and this is not good.
Yeah, and you know what? That's actually a great transition into the weekend roundup here. So that was a great like introduction of Phil the Thrill, and it's a great transition into the weekend roundup. Me, Josh, Nikki Shanks, and Phil played Friday, and played Kirkbride, and we had a couple interesting things happen out on the course. First of all, Phil the Thrill was accosted by one of the members of Kirkbride.
Oh, man. Yes.
So, Phil, take it away. Me and Phil were in the cart together. We hit our drives. Josh and Nikki Shanks drive up, and me and Phil are, going our way to get our ball. And, Phil, you can take it away.
Yeah, no, I felt a little victimized here. Paulie Pecker over there. I mean, I'm not, shaming on anything, but this guy looks like he's never, lifted or anything. His torso, not much of a torso. He looked kind of like a slug.
He looked like the penguin from.
He looked like the penguin.
Look at Danny DeVito in 1972.
Right. I thought he was going to come over here and bite my nose off.
Good reference. Good reference.
Yes, thank you. So this guy comes out of nowhere. And, I mean, we were keeping great pace that day.
Yep.
We were flying through this round. This guy comes over, like, to our tee box. We just teed off, Colucci and I are in the second cart. Guy comes out of nowhere over, like, the rough. And, I mean, their fairway is, like, a good, 30 yards. So he's coming, like, 50 yards into us. And he goes, hey, bud. Like, we're not buds. All right? Hey, bud. Don't want to be a dick, but you got to tuck your shirt in. I'm like,
You gotta be fucking kidding
not
me.
Will,
dude.
out of a fucking.
What the
I mean,
I couldn't, dude. This guy came from a mile away, dude. He was like 2 holes ahead of us, and he just sniped.
He
Phil.
wasn't. Was he a player or was he a ranger?
He was playing.
it was a. Remember
That's
that
worse.
This was at Kirkbride, which is a private course. So he was like, I'm assuming he was a member. But, like, he didn't – it's not like they were in passing. He was like, oh, dude, remember, you got to take your shirt. That's club rules or something like that. He was Ranger goddamn Rick.
He was.
Old man Jenkins.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere. But this guy, I couldn't believe it. I told my dad about it. I told a bunch of people about it. And this is literally why OMADA Golf, and this is what the evolution of the game needs to be, is getting rid of that fucking attitude, man.
That attitude, that elitism.
Yeah.
Like, really, you like, I can't, what's even worse, get this. After the fact, they fucking slowed us down so that 3 holes towards the end, we waited probably 15 minutes on each hole for them to tee off, which all of us thought to ourselves, if he hadn't taken the time to fucking come over and break his speed of his round, he might have actually played through. And by the course rules of playing at pace, he actually broke one of his own rules trying to correct somebody else for another rule.
That's absolutely wild.
It was ridiculous.
That is ridiculous, man.
I didn't
Couldn't
sleep
believe
a wink that night.
Just thinking about Farmer Jenkins or whatever.
Ranger Rick.
It was crazy, man. Like, I thought, like, he had hit his ball over to us, and that's why he was driving his cart over, because he's, like, coming steaming at me and Phil. And all of a sudden, the I don't want to be a dick thing, whenever you say that, you're about to be a dick.
Exactly.
Yes. And, like, and Phil Phil was not a jerk about it or anything. He was just like, oh yeah, sorry, man. And he like just tucked the shirt and we drove off. But like the fact that he came all the way out of his way to just fucking chirp Phil and be like, you have to tuck your shirt in, bud.
But I mean, at least, okay, like 2 weeks, whatever, last episode, right? We talked about the story, how the girl took our drinks and whatnot.
Yeah.
At the very least, it's her fucking job. Like,
Yeah,
she's getting paid to do that, to be a dick, basically. This guy's just like some rando fucking member who thinks he's King Tut. And even worse is his stature. Like, the fact that he came over and tried to especially
strong arm.
Yeah, especially
Strong
because
arm,
like Phil's my guest. I'm bringing out there. I'm paying the full fucking freight of him being there.
Yeah.
That's upsetting for me as the member. Like, and he didn't say anything to me. I had my shirt untucked.
I was going to say, you usually wear yours untucked.
I didn't play with it tucked in. He never came over to me,
Well, Phil was wearing the flamingo hat.
He looked like a stud. He was a
looked
stud out there.
Yeah, how
fantastic.
can you not? Yeah.
High fashion.
You are commanding the room with your fashion right now, too, Phil.
Yeah, I was looking good. I had my elastic pants on too.
Yeah.
Like they're like breathable. It was a hot day. It was.
I feel like you have a little bit of a Docto Octo look going on right now with those glasses. I feel like Dr. Octopus has those.
I feel like I've gotten
What are you
from
talking?
Spider-Man. You don't remember?
Alfred Molina.
No,
Yeah.
this guy's got giving me like high roller blackjack vibes.
He does
right
have
now.
high roller blackjack vibes. That's
And
true.
Someone actually did say, because I was wearing these the other day, they were like Fear and Loathing, and I was like, oh, this is bad country. And the girl looked at me and she's like, I'm like, you never seen the movie? And she was like, no, I just like know
I
that
just saw the
fate. I'm like, all right, well, watch the movie, and come back to me. Right?
I would actually make a bet that you're the only one in this room who's seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Will?
I've seen it once, but
Okay,
it was
okay.
yeah. I mean, I understand the reference to that point. Yeah.
I thought you might have been the only one who's
I haven't
seen
seen
it.
it.
It's an older
I haven't
movie,
seen
yeah,
it
so-
yet either, yeah.
It's-
Nicky Shanks, no chance?
0. I don't even think I was born when that thing.
No chance.
Good Johnny Depp flick.
What year were you
I'll
born,
check
Nick?
it out.
Yeah.
2000.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Oh my God. What a
I know.
fucking chump.
I
He's a
like go right
2000
over that
baby.
little edge
Baby.
of like the 99, 90s babies to the 2000 and just
Jeez.
punch right in the gut.
That's crazy.
It's actually kind of like encouraging that I'm only 3 years older than him.
Yeah, I mean, we're not. I mean, to say you're born in 2000 versus what 97, I'm
97.
98. Like that's really
You're
only
98.
Yeah, it's only
Wow.
2 years,
Wow.
but like I don't know.
It's a lot. A lot happened,
Yeah, yeah.
It did happen.
But it's like I'm not even that old either. But it just seems like it's old. I mean, like I feel a little bit older now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Like, I would-
definitely like hit. I think you hit. I was saying this the other day to my brother. Is like at age 23, almost every member of my family like either became from 23 on unable to eat any spicy food or lactose intolerant. Like literally, I can eat spicy food and I can eat some milk, but like cheese and stuff. But I can't do ice cream or heavy
You
cream.
might be the outlier, and
I might be the
and
outlier.
next week might be your last spicy food.
But I have
so-
horrible. Yeah. My family is just cursed with bad stomachs. But it almost always took place around 23, and then
Well, I think your sister has it the worst, being celiac though.
I don't, dude. She's been eating bread. She eats plenty of bread now. She told that was like.
Is that like you're allergic to gluten?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they also caught up. Like they're starting to make gluten-free foods like really good now.
I know, but
guess,
Andrew, she's totally abandoned that for like not short. Like it's been like 5 years since she last quoted that she was celiac. Like
so she's not actually celiac.
well, she might be, but like we don't like. Oh my god, that's the thing. It's like what like stomach shit is so weird. Like
Yeah.
what you can or can't eat legitimately is
Well,
all.
it's sometimes finding out that you have something like that is almost ridiculous. Like my uncle, for example, he's celiac, and he used to go to Lake Maury every year with my dad, and he's a big whiskey drinker. So all weekend he's drinking whiskey and he's throwing up. He can't get off the toilet, and he's drinking more whiskey to make himself feel better. But when he gets home, he finds out he's celiac, and then he's been the reason why he's getting sick is because he's drinking the whiskey.
That's devastating.
Yeah.
That's the worst news ever. So you really shouldn't be drinking whiskey.
Now he can't drink. He has to drink like tequila only now.
And some vodkas are gluten free.
Some vodkas, yeah.
Tito's is gluten free. But Phil the Thrill being at the course with us Friday, I think it gave me some inspiration because I shot my personal best I've ever shot. I shot a 90 through 18 holes, which sounds great. It does not sound that great, but to me that was a personal accomplishment, and I was so excited about it. And I was like telling all my friends and family, like, "Oh my god, I just shot a 90! I just shot a 90!" Like, I couldn't believe it, so I was pretty pumped. And Phil the Thrill was in the cart with me, supporting me the whole way, keeping the mood light. And I think that's part of the reason I did it.
I'm sitting in the office this morning, and the first thing I see, this guy is fast walking over to me with a big giant smile on his face and hands me the card and doesn't say anything.
It was weird, man. He was in the zone. I've
That's
never seen
amazing.
him play not play. I've seen him play physically. I've seen him swing the club as good as I saw him that day. But there was a. I think he got sick and tired of blowing it. Like,
Yeah,
you know
so
what I'm saying?
there's always a moment every time I play golf. There's always a moment that I tell whoever's keeping score to scratch out the rest of my score because I don't want to keep score anymore.
'Cause,
And
yeah.
I'm just trying to you
You just fought through it.
Get myself better. But this time I opened up with the par, and then like I kind of never really did. I never had that explosion, and so like I kind of was just like, oh my god, this is.
Speaking of explosions,
To me a double.
Gabagool.
To me a double is not an explosion. Like if Josh, Will, or Nick like doubled, like they'd be really pissed about that. Like I'll take a double. Like that's okay with me. But Josh, on the other hand, was playing very, very well, and then kind of fell apart.
I was like even the whole entire round, or like maybe 1 over, I think, going into 9.
It was that chicken sandwich.
It was.
Yeah, Nick told me you
that
tried
was
to put
after.
down 2 chicken sandwiches.
Well, on the back 9, like on the back.
Not one.
Not
ladies
one,
and
2
gentlemen,
chicken sandwiches.
Well, all right. So on the back 9, yeah, that did fuck me up. But I got to be honest with you. I was so defeated. I've never been that defeated in my life. Like, honestly, it killed me. I didn't even want to keep score on the back 9 because I was so defeated from the front. And I'll tell you why. I was literally even. I did exactly what I had done the other day, but I held it through the whole entire round. Nick can attest to this. I was sniping pins. Like, I literally was taking an 8-iron from 165 out and putting it 5 feet from the pin. And I had a birdie look on almost every hole. And the putting wasn't that bad. I hit a couple really good. I hit one where I was in the rough and I putted onto the green like 20 feet away and dunked it. So, like, I was playing really good. I could have putted better and I would have been, like negative. But on the fucking 9th hole, par 3, 165 out, 9-iron, easy enough hole, nothing crazy. It plays high to low, so trying to play it on the front side. I fucking take my swing. And I'm not kidding you. Like, and I remember I'd been pin hunting with this club all day. 8-iron sends it to the back of the green, back left, takes the hill. Ball rolls down off the green, so the hill is going. So it's going like this, and I'm off the backside. So now I'm chipping into an uphill. And wouldn't you know it, where the ball lands, it goes so far down because the hill is so steep. It lands itself in the fucking range.
The driving range.
Really?
Yeah.
So I go out to hit my ball, and I'm literally like waiting for a ball to cream me in the head, and I'm fucking dead.
Yeah,
so
it's a weird setup.
I sprinted out, I hit the ball, and just like quick, like I didn't take a practice. I didn't even really line up to it. I just to get it up because I didn't want to get clammed, and I just like fell apart after that. I think I hit like a 7 on the hole or a 6 or something.
You tripled. Yeah, you tripled that hole.
Triple bogeyed it. It ruined the score. Still shot at 39, but it was like devastation for me.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then the chicken sandos came in. And
Then I started eating the chicken sandwich, and like they kept rushing me. Well, not they, but like we had to like rush to like play and eat. And I'm all about the meal. I need the meal.
I was the only one not trying to rush because we had jerks behind us who were just creeping down on us. But
yeah. And then we ended up catching up to the fatso in front of us who told you to tuck your shirt in. So.
Which actually brings up an interesting thing is that I discovered that Nick has golf course anxiety.
I can't do it. I just can't.
Explain.
I've always grown
wanna
up
explain
playing
it to
tournaments.
them?
Yeah, like playing tournaments and like, keeping pace, and we can get penalized strokes for that, and where the cart is and where they are behind us and if they're on the green. And I can't play a golf hole knowing there's somebody behind us on the tee without looking back at them to make sure they're not like throwing stuff at us. Like
Death staring
yeah,
you.
like I just feel like I'm always in the way out there all the time of everybody.
He was stressing me the fuck out. I was ready to have a panic attack because of Nicky Shanks' fucking bullshit.
And then he's like, how do you do this? Like, I'm just trying to play golf and you're so worried. Like, just calm down. And I'm like, you're right. And then literally the next hole, I'm like, guys, we got to pick it up. And Josh is like, are you kidding me?
I was
like,
literally about to duct tape his mouth shut, dude. We actually had a really great conversation, though. I got to know Nick a little bit more. That was
whoa, keep it PG.
I love that about golf is that like you can get in a car with somebody and you can just it's like food-esque experience. It's just a place and an avenue and a platform to share with people. So that was a great round though. I appreciate everybody coming out and playing. Phil, you how was it playing under the gun of the camera, dude? That was new for you.
Yeah, it's a little different. All right, let me explain to the viewers at home. Josh and crew over here has these cameras that are like the size of my head. And they just whip them out of like nowhere, and it's like it's not like a phone where it's just like up. It's like this giant camera with this like little like mic piece up. I'm like, it reminded me of my amateur porn days. It was just like, well, what is happening, And then you're on the green, and it's like, it was always a par 3, and it seemed like the camera came out when I hit my 3 worse shots. And,
Yep.
and I think that one of the closest, the pin went right to the right into the woods.
Speaking of which,
Speaking of
is there
which,
a segment here for this?
I
or
think this is the perfect time to bring it up, Phil, and you kind of shot yourself in the foot there. But
Oh, I mean, the double stuff I've been staring at.
yeah. So, Will, if you want to hand me the ingredients here, we had a bet, and we'll for the video cast. If you're listening to the audio, go check out the video cast and fast forward to this point. I'm going to insert the clip. We played a par 3 competition. Instead of closest to the pin, it was farthest from the pin has to eat a double stuffed mustard Oreo. And so I don't know why the fuck we decided to do this.
it was a
but-
random idea I had.
Yeah.
I just thought
We were
those
talking
are
about mustard covered Oreos last week.
Oh, we were, yeah. I would also say if you go to T-Box Talk Instagram or OMADA Golf's Instagram, this is something that we're going to be featuring like as soon as this episode airs. So do yourselves the favor, go follow those accounts. There's going to be this and many more clips that are dope. And of course, you get to watch. He was almost willing to do it.
I hate mustard, dude. I hate mustard. Get this out.
You're like that guy from Jackass.
So
Who
anyway,
hates the mustard.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't do it. So, anyways,
I fucking hate mustard as well.
regardless,
I don't know why.
we
I
do a
decided
farthest
this.
from the pin challenge. I'm going to insert the clip right here of our loser, Phil the Thrill. Just absolutely put one a fair way over. Like it just wasn't even close.
What-
So,
so do
take
I-
a look at this clip.
We're not doing it closest to the pin. We're doing furthest from the pin. Has to eat an Oreo with mustard live on the podcast on Monday. Kaluch is like, it sucks because I love mustard. Mustard time.
Golf is a game of inches. Phil just missed by about 50 yards.
Do I put
Welcome back from the clip. Phil's about to eat the mustard Oreo.
Do I put the mustard on the around the lining? Will,
Can you
Phil,
make a little smiley face or something? And
Yeah, give
or,
him
like,
a smiley
give
face.
me. Can you? Yeah, don't make the whole thing. I need to like hold it. So maybe one side a little bit. And is there like a trash can around just in case, or what do we? Oh man, that's cute.
I'm gonna go grab a trash can.
oh, he needs a nose.
Oh, that's so cute.
Is that good? That's good. I'm
Yeah,
okay with
that-
that. Can you?
I
handle
can.
that?
I think I can do that.
It's not
yeah.
that much. I mean,
No.
you can just.
No.
So
Are you gonna like?
mustard on an Oreo, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Pass that down to Phil. This is Phil's debut. He took a loss, and he's going to take it like a man, and he's going to.
You gotta take it like a man, All right. You boys ready for this?
Wait a second.
Look into that camera.
If you soil it, you take it out, baby. That's the rules here.
I'm sorry. Oh, if I soil it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. You guys ready?
Wait a second.
This is Phil the Thrill eating the mustard Oreo.
Okay.
We need a review too.
This is what's this guy's name?
Timmy.
Frank the Frenchie Oreo. All right, here we go. Give me some more mustard.
Give him more mustard. The man wants more mustard. He's going to put on a show.
What he said right after he lost his bet, he was like, "Jokes on you guys. I love mustard."
Yeah, that was a joke though.
That was a joke, though.
Phil, do you prefer yellow mustard or Dijon mustard?
I like. My mom always used to. Oh man. My mom always used to get like the hot mustard. So whatever that one is.
Yeah, the Dijon.
Oh, my God. Look at him, though. He's really taking it like a champ. I think I'd be squirming around like a fucking
Dude, I can't even
fish
watch
right
you
now.
with that.
I hate mustard so much.
All right,
I don't even
he's
know
almost,
why. But
he's
like,
almost done. He's
Little
got
water.
Little water.
Little water, little water.
You know what it is? It's the chocolate and the mustard. They're fusing, right? And
They're coagulating.
it's creating like it's almost like two Pokemons that shouldn't be together. Like, they like Pikachu and Charizard boinked, and like now it's
And now you got a mustard covered Oreo.
Now I got a mustard covered Oreo.
All right, baby. Down the hatch. Last bite.
I'm just gonna swallow it.
That face. That's a face of a fucking champion, dude. Look at that. I think he deserves a round of applause for that. That was pretty big, Phil the Thrill.
That wasn't the applause one.
I think it's second to the left. Nope. Yep.
There we go. Applause from the crowd.
Woo! That was fucking hilarious.
All right, so that was Phil the Thrill eating a mustard Oreo. If you're listening to the audio, go check out the video podcast. Go check it out now. Just fast forward to that point, watch it because it's gonna be super funny. Thank you very much, Phil. Great
job.
sport. Great sport.
That was amazing.
You're welcome.
So we can kind of use this to transition from weekend roundup into golf news. Will, you went to the Travelers.
I did. I went to the
How was
Travelers
it?
on Friday. It was good. It was a good time. I forgot my sunscreen and my hat in the car.
Devastating.
So I spent a lot of my time under the tent not watching golf or watching golf from a TV.
Is that why your hair is blonde now?
No, that happened before, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
But no, it was good. I know I told you guys earlier, but well, actually I didn't tell Phil, but we actually ended up, my buddy actually accidentally bumped into a guy on the first tee waiting for Rory to tee off. They just kind of walked into each other, and the guy ended up being the owner of Treehouse Brewery.
Oh wow. All right.
Yeah. So he had like a treehouse embroidered on his shirt. And my buddy's like, "Did you?" Oh, he's like, "That's a really cool shirt. Did you have that embroidered himself?" And he's like, "Yeah, I own Treehouse."
I own the treehouse, man.
But yeah, Travelers was good. Like I said, didn't really watch a lot of golf. Rory fell back. Xander took a pretty steady lead. He pretty much held that throughout Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
yeah, Xander wins the Travelers at -19. Runner-up there's two guys at -17, but it was Xander's tournament to lose all of Sunday, so it wasn't really all that exciting, I guess. I didn't really tune in, to be honest with you. I was kind of focused on other things.
it's pretty funny, actually. So Xander won Travelers on June 26th, 2022, and he got married on June 26th, 2021.
Wow, so on his wedding anniversary, he wins the Travelers. That's pretty sick.
Big June 26th guy for sure.
Why didn't you invite me to the wedding though?
I don't know. He missed out
He
on a
really
big
did.
opportunity.
He didn't know I was
Clearly.
around.
But the other big news that we missed it by one day last week when we were recording.
I knew it was like, I was wondering when
We
that
missed
was,
it by
yeah.
one day. Brooks Kopeka has left the PGA Tour and is going to the LIV. Also noted today, Matt Wolff has left the PGA Tour and is going to the LIV. But Brooks is that big name that kind of shocked a lot of people, especially at the U.S. Open when he gives that the reporter asks, he was getting hounded by reporters because there was rumors going around, rumors. And he just like blew up on this guy who kept asking. He's like, "You're ruining the tournament. Like, stop talking about LIV. Stop talking about LIV." And everybody was like, "Uh-oh, like he's hiding something." And then right after the U.S. Open, he's like, "Fuck it, I'm out." And he goes and joins the LIV. Brooks and Bryson back together. That should be fun. But thoughts on Brooks Kepler leaving the PGA Tour? Never going to get to see him in a PGA event again.
I got to tell you, this is bad news. This is not.
It's a big name. That's a big, young name for a young generation.
They're just getting more and more, too, though, dude. I mean.
Well, did you see what kind of was the results, what the PGA kind of fired back and did? So what are they, Nick? Maybe you can help me out this. They're hosting like 8 different events or something like that, with like $20 million purses.
Right. So they're going to be 8 events, huge purses for the top 50 world-ranked players on the PGA Tour. So they're just basically mirroring what LIV is doing and adding all the normal events.
So I don't get that. So
Yeah, I don't either. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me either.
So they're just gonna do more guaranteed money.
Essentially, yeah.
So it's literally about money. That's literally what this is about. This whole drama between the LIV and the PGA Tour.
But I feel like after a certain amount of time, like new stars are going to emerge. Some guy, could start winning even more and then, take over the PGA, and then
That's
they'll,
true.
you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like right now it's a bad look, but eventually down the line, it could be fine. It might just, play itself out almost.
I know what you're saying. So like kind of like a few years ago, Brooks Koepka kind of broke out onto the scene. He wins back-to-back PGA championships.
Yep.
And then he all of a sudden was just the top guy in golf for a while. And the same with Dustin Johnson. I mean, although he's a little older, he's been doing it for a little longer. But I don't know. You're right. Maybe
There's a pretty
is.
obvious one right now.
Who?
To your point.
Zalatoris.
No, I guess Zalatoris.
He's a young stud who keeps coming
but
runner up.
He hasn't really
could be big.
You're talking about the runner up. Give me the guy who's
Scotty Scheffler.
Scheffler has become out of nowhere this like elite player. Even in the Open, when I watched him play, like, I mean, he was in contention for winning, like, the whole entire round. I didn't even think he would be in the top 10. So he's looks like he might be here to stay for a while, dude. He's young too. He's not like like Phil and some of those other LIV players. Like, what was it? What's the the British guy or the English guy? Ian Poulter.
There you go.
Ian Poulter. Yeah, he's a pretty big name, but like he's old.
Older.
Phil's old. You know.
Yeah. So what if they throw the absolute bag at Scotty Scheffler right now?
Nah, it's not big enough.
No.
I don't think.
No.
He's like
They've already proven that they can throw the bag. What if they throw him $500 million guaranteed? He'd go in a heartbeat. That's the whole thing.
I don't know. He's principal, Andrew. Remember that he did that car thing, right?
People are principal until they see money. That's the whole thing with the LIV is like it's not about like what the Saudi I'm not going to get into all of it, but like yes, it's like there's some very questionable things, right? But in the end, the golfers, the only thing they care about is the dollar sign. And, like, I feel like everybody's been kind of saying the same thing. The players who came out and said, like, I'm joining the LIV because I want the money, like, they're kind of catching less slack because they're just being honest. Like, yeah, I want to be filthy fucking rich.
What did Scotty Scheffler do when he won that major?
He kept the same car. Yeah, like, he's been keeping the same car.
There are players on the PGA Tour that, look, the problem with the LIV Tour right now, the biggest hurdle I see, is that the LIV Tour has no history. There's no historic value to any of their tournaments. So, like, for me, I'll give you an example. If I grew up playing as a competitive golfer, the only thing on my mind would be to win a major. Either win to win
the Open, the U.S. Open,
the Open,
the
but anybody could compete in the Open. I'm thinking the Masters is probably a good one.
Yeah.
The Masters would be like elite to win, and you can't win it now on the that's what LIV doesn't have. They don't have their Masters.
So, but the LIV players, are they going to be able to play in the Masters?
I think they can play in the Masters.
So
they can.
Yep.
It's going to depend, I think, because the U.S. Open has its own rules. It's
USGA run.
Yes. So, all the top guys could potentially play in that. And then, the PGA Championship, that you're not going to see a good
You're not going to see any of them in there.
Unless they make an exception for some of those, because, those are the big ones people go to watch,
Yeah.
But I agree. I think, there's guys who care about legacy.
Yeah.
And then there's guys who care about money. And this is a perfect example of they're picking their teams, and you see who cares about the money and who cares about the legacy. So
that's true. That's like Rory McIlroy keeps like throwing subtle tweets out and stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah,
fuck everyone on the list.
That's interesting. So we still have. So you got Justin Thomas. You have Rory. You have
Tiger.
Well, that shouldn't even be in. I don't even feel like he should be in the equation because that man has been, he's the richest athlete of all time or one of them. So,
but you're right. But Scheffler's still there. Morikawa's gonna stay. Oh no, Morikawa's still on the PGA. Yeah, yeah.
Well, the other one I'm thinking about is Jordan Spieth.
He's
gonna stay.
PGA, yeah.
Think about like what not Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele said before he won this week. He's like, growing up, he dreamed about playing on the PGA Tour, and for him, there's no amount of money to replace his dreams or buy his dreams, right? So I feel like that's just the principle.
That was really my point.
Absolutely, and I mean it's out there, and they're being very vocal about that, and that's the reason that the PGA Tour is holding them.
Yeah, I definitely feel that.
Yeah, it's only gonna get more interesting, and you know what's kind of fucked up about the whole situation is that this is kind of making golf like a little dramatic, like. A lot of eyes are on golf. Like, who's going to the LIV? Who's not? Who's talking shit? Who's not? Who's going to get paid? Like, it's been like very dramatic. And like you said a couple weeks ago, or maybe even last week, there's people who don't even give two shits about golf who are like, this LIV stuff is like fascinating. Like the drama of it. Like, people love drama, and people like that's why I think there's like a bunch of like people watch the news and like the depressing stuff on the news to like be like. I don't know. I think there's a tick in some people. They just like drama.
Well, think about this, right? South Park did this perfectly, but think about this. You know how there's like high school wrestling?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to think of the last time you watched that type of wrestling professionally.
Like Olympic wrestling. Yeah.
What's the last
Never.
time? Never, right?
Never.
What's a little company we know about that took that concept and added drama and storytelling
Yeah.
and then created a multi-billion-dollar company?
The
What's
WWE.
That's
Yeah.
correct. So we saw that so impactful when when Brooks didn't know he was being filmed or didn't know it would be released, and it got leaked of him, like basically shitting on Bryson.
About
Sorry.
Bryce.
Brooks was the one that got caught initially, but that literally, just by that happening, the combination of now Bryson versus Brooks created this electricity within the game and got everybody looking.
Yeah.
You have to do that type of stuff. And honestly, I don't know why they haven't done that more. Probably because of the whole, like, this is a gentleman's game and we have to play it this way. Like, I feel like that drama is what's keeping everybody involved, you know?
Wait, I'm confused. Wrestling's not real.
Hey, that was a heartbreaking moment for me when I was a little kid and I went to my first ever WWE live event and it all clicked in my head like, oh, this isn't real. Like, I was heartbroken.
The Rock, the Sock connection, like that's not real. Like Triple H, I thought his parents just loved the letter H.
I thought the Undertaker died like 3 times. Just came back from the dead.
I thought Kane was from hell. I thought that was his face.
No, he's the mayor of fucking Knoxville, Tennessee now.
Rey Mysterio, I thought he just, fell off a train somewhere and then he was raised by squirrels and he just knew how to fly.
He's the best. I actually think he's actually like a luchador legend though, so I love Rey Mysterio. Anyways, golf news, the LIV is always going to be there. It's going to get, like I keep saying, it's going to get more interesting before it gets boring. So we'll stay up to date with that. And I think it's time to segue into our stand-up 2.0 section. We're going to try it again. I have another story. Josh looks like he has something prepared. Phil is always just funny. Will, I'm sure, has got some dad jokes, maybe a story. I don't know what Nick's got back there, but we're going to try it out again. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I went first last time, I think. All right, I got a bunch of stuff written down, but I'm just going to share one little ditty. All right?
One little ditty.
So a golfer slices a ball into a field of chickens. He immediately strikes one of the hens and kills it instantly. So he was understandably upset, and he immediately went over to the farmer and said, "I'm so sorry. My terrible tee shot hit one of your hens and killed it. Can I replace the hen?" And the farmer goes, "Well, I don't know about that." Mulling it over, he says, "How many eggs can you lay in a day?"
I laughed at your laugh after. I don't even understand the joke. I'm sorry.
He kills the hen. So the farmer asks him, how many eggs can he lay in a day? And then I have one follow-up here.
What's the alternative
You
meaning
fucking
there?
lost me on that one.
I get it.
Did you get it?
Is egg an 8?
He asked to replace it.
No, like he killed the hen that lays eggs.
Yeah.
And he is offering to replace the hen. So the farmer's thinking of it more literally, and how is the guy gonna poop out an egg?
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I got another quick one. Golf balls are like eggs. They're white, sold by the dozen, and a week later you have to buy more.
All right, that's a good one. Okay, I like that one a little better than the first one.
Egg jokes.
Yeah. I mean, you might like it. It's interesting more than it is.
Sorry, I'm just
Funny.
yolking around.
I like.
Oh, fuck you.
You're cracking me up, Will.
Oh, Phil the Thrill.
Late reaction.
That was pretty
That
good.
was a zinger.
That was pretty good.
All right, Phil the Thrill, take it away.
Oh man. All right. Well, I thought I was gonna go on a rant here, but I don't want to. I'll just do my.
Do whatever you want to do.
Did you guys hear about the 2 cannibals eating a clown the other day?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. One of the cannibals was like, "Dude, this tastes funny to me."
That's pretty good. I like that. That's a decent enough joke. All right, I'll go. So,
What the fuck is going on here?
I spent a lot of time yesterday trying to figure out how to make a joke. Andrew knows this because he saw me today looking also. It's not as easy as you would think, or for me it wasn't anyway. But the question I have is like, what do you think was the hardest part for me about making a joke?
Your ADHD.
Writing the joke.
No, it's the fact that my shaft is extra stiff flex and kept getting in the way.
Oh my god.
That was horrible.
I couldn't fucking move it. It kept getting in the way of my pen, dude.
We're going dick jokes now.
Well, here's the thing is like my jokes are fucking custom. I'm trying to actually write layers, but you fuckers keep coming out with me with these stupid lines from fucking online jokes somewhere. So I'd say A for fucking effort at least on my end.
My doctor said I had HD, and he says you have 80 of them. Someone said that to me on the golf course the other day, and I just started cracking up laughing. So I needed to say that. And he said it like in that voice too, so I was like, I gotta say that. Yeah.
I'm pretty
All
sad,
right.
so I got work to do. I'm gonna keep on. I'll go back to the drawing board.
I feel like, you know,
Yeah, just move that big
you're
shaft
so
out
far
of the
away.
way.
At least he got it. I feel like you guys didn't get it at first.
I didn't.
I got
didn't.
it.
Well,
I
you know what I
just-
wanted to say? Can I just be honest with you? I initially wanted to. I didn't want to do the extra stiff flex. I was trying to do that for golf, but it really was supposed to be my dick was too big, and I like it. You know what I mean? Like, because it kept getting in the way.
Yeah.
But like, it would have been easier to understand. But I wanted to go the golf route of like, extra stiff flex.
But
you
the
know?
beginning had nothing to do with golf.
That's the point. That's what in jokes. That's what they do. Is I create anticipation for you.
Are you the joke expert now?
Is that how jokes
No,
work?
this is listen. The whole entire Bill Burr does this every time. He tells you a joke. He leads you. Your expectations are X for this, and then he throws you a curveball, and the curveball has some type of inner lining that is equivalent to the initial part. So you breaks expectations while meeting them. It's a never mind. I mean,
I think if you keep working at it, I think a couple weeks you'll be right next to Bill Burr. One day at a time. All right.
that's my guy. Hey, I like that the thrill is believing in me right now. That's all I need.
You got some belief. You got some belief in you. All right.
I can't wait to hear this fucking gem.
All right.
Well, once again, I'm going more story
Hopefully
here.
it's better than that purple shirt over there.
Oh, this is a roast. This is a roast all of a
Just got
sudden.
roasted.
What
Hey,
the fuck?
Barney called. He wants the shirt back.
All right, let's hear it. Go on.
Hey, Grandma called. She wants her visor back.
Hey, that's my fucking boy over there.
Don't worry, I'll be seeing your grandma soon. Grandma joke.
I think he might get the win before
Winner,
it even
Phil.
starts.
Uno reverse card right there.
Go ahead.
She listens to the podcast now, so all right, you're gonna have to take that one up with her.
Give her my phone number. Dude.
Oh my god.
All right, so once again I have a story, and once again it has to do with me just looking like I'm too young and just getting fucked over because of it. So I'm at the Encore in Boston. It's a brand new casino. I was really excited to be there with some friends. We took the boat over, and notable to the story is like two of my friends are like blackout fucking drunk and can't even walk. All right, and I'm angry about it because you'll see why in a second. I go up to get my ID scanned, and I give it to the kid, and my ID is very old at the time. I'm well over 21 at this moment. My ID is real. It's within the expiration date, so it's not even expired. But because it was scratched up, it wouldn't scan. So the guy's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to have to call the higher-ups on this one just to, make sure. So, like, I'm sitting there, like, I'm like, dude, like, and this was, like, kind of during COVID time, so the casino was closing early. So I was like, dude, like, I only have 45 minutes left inside. They're like, just come on. Like, I'm 21. Like, let me in. He's like, no. It won't scan. I have to call the guys. These 3 suits come down, like, big suit guys come down. And one of them takes the ID, puts it through the scanner as if something's going to change because of his magical fingers. But, of course, it doesn't work. Again, guy takes one look at it. He goes, son, you're going to have to come with me. And they drag me into this, like, hallway, and they, like, press me up against the wall, and they're like, listen, buddy, we're going to call the police right now. So if there's something you need to tell us about this ID, you better fess up right now. I'm like, no, like, it's a fucking real ID. Like, I'm 21. Like, call the police. Meanwhile, my 2 friends are, like, stumbling into the casino, like, falling over themselves, and they don't get questioned once. They're like, oh, here's my ID. And they, like, get let right into the casino. Meanwhile, I get the police called on me because they thought my ID was fake, and it was not. It just wouldn't scan. And then the guys, like, giving me shit. Like, they're, like, pressing me in this hallway. They're, like, telling me that I need to get a new ID because it won't scan. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, it's, like, not an expired ID at all. And then I end up getting let into the casino. At this point, I have, like, 30 minutes left, and I lost $200 in, like, the blink of an eye.
Oh.
I'm not sure you fully get this segment.
It's a funny story.
Andrew, it's supposed to be a comedy sketch. You're just telling us a story, but you getting indicted in a casino.
Well, the funny part was that my friends walked
There
by
has to
all
be a
drunk.
punchline, Kaluch. You have to have a punchline.
I'll work on it, all right? But
all right.
I like storytelling.
Well,
That's
if you're
my
gonna
form of
story
com-
tell, then have a punchline in the story, like something funny.
Colucci, Bill Burr is shaking in his pants right now. He knows he's coming after you.
All right, so we'll have some
Back to the
revi-
drawing board.
Yeah,
Back to the
back to-
fucking
we
drawing
got two of us. One of us actually tried to make a joke. The other is just telling us his fucking life stories.
I like talking about my stories, dude. My stories are
This is my
important to me.
tale.
Sit and listen to my tale.
Then
Take
the
down that
best-
beacon.
Take down that beacon. Hey,
Shout
gotta
out
listen
Rick-
to my tale.
Shout out Rick and Morty. Take down that beacon. Take down that beacon. All right, that's Nikki Shanks. You got anything from the rafters back there?
I got one. I've been cooking it up. I actually heard it this weekend. I had to perfect it in the mirror yesterday night. Yeah. So, Dad and his son are sitting in the living room on the couch, just hanging out, long day. And the son looks over to Dad and goes, Dad, what's the difference between hypothetical and realistically? Right? And the dad says, I don't know, son. We're going to do an experiment. Go upstairs, ask your mom, would she have sex with a celebrity for $1 million? Son walks upstairs, asks the mom. Mom says, of course I would. That's $1 million. Son walks back down and tells the dad, Dad, she said yeah. He says, okay, that's what I expected. Go ask your sister the same thing. So he goes and asks the sister, would you have sex with a celebrity for $1 million? The sister says, yeah, I would. That's a great deal. Son goes back and he goes, Dad, they both said yes. I don't get it. Dad looks at the son and goes, well, hypothetically, we have $2 million. Realistically, we live with two awful women.
That was pretty
Not
good
bad.
attempt.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's
I
pretty good
actually
there.
think that was really good. That's how it works. You see how there's like the punchline at the end?
up. That's a joke.
Like 50 more episodes, Andrew could put a book together of his short stories. Because he's got it all fucking typed
We're
up.
gonna have a novel of Colucci's fucking ID refusals by the end of the time.
It's funny because half of my stories just have to do with me being denied.
That's
from
even
bars.
worse. Is that it was the same story last time in a different place. It was just I got my ID taken and they think I look too young. Damn, pretty good, Nick. I'll give you that. But I have
I gotta
to
change it up.
I think despite that being a well-told joke, pretty good execution, I think we know who fucking won this week.
Yep. Phil the Thrill,
Phil
congratulations.
the goddamn thrill. Another round of applause. Oh, and a digital round of applause.
You earned the digital round of applause.
Attaboy.
Good job, Phil.
Back
We
to
gotta
the
get
drawing
better
board.
at crickets. Because the crickets need
I
to
gotta
be-
label this.
I-
I've
yeah,
been talking
yeah.
about labeling it. Yeah, it's purple.
Just call it the
Crickets.
Colucci button.
Yeah, I'll get back to the drawing
Yeah,
board,
yeah,
boys. I
yeah.
gotta start writing. All right, that's gonna wrap up the comedy, and we are gonna go into some behind the scenes over at OMADA Golf. Really, just one thing I want to talk about this week. As I was doing some notes for the podcast today, came across a New York Post article, and they were talking about Claire Hogel, one of the influencers that we happen to work with. Claire's great. She's been a great marketing help with our company. She's really easy to work with and awesome, and she's on the rise. She's going to be a massive, massive golf influencer. She already is. Anyways, in the New York Post article, they were like featuring pictures from her Instagram, and one of the pictures happened to have her using the OMADA Golf Tri-Light push cart. And it was just fucking awesome to see. The article got published like 15 minutes before we started recording, and like we had no idea it was happening, and like boom, the Tri-Light has made it to the New York Post. So we're in the rocket ship, boys, and we're going. Like, it's awesome. I thought it was really cool. I already sent it to a bunch of friends and family, and they were like, that's so fucking sick.
I think what's really cool about it too is that like just maybe 5 months ago when we started talking with Claire Hogel and we had worked with other influencers, and shout out Davis for being the man. I really enjoy working with him. He's their manager, and he had told me about Claire, and honestly, when we first started talking to her, I think she was like sub 300,000, maybe like 200.
It was like 200.
It might even been like, man, I don't know if it was less or, but the point is that like we've invested, a good chunk of money and time and energy, and as has she with her content. She does such a good job filming things. But I think what's really cool about it is that like when you invest into the right people, and then they go off and do things on their own, and they create and they generate, tremendous results from your involvement with them. that's when you have the biggest wins. So right now, I think it's pretty exciting for us to be partnered with her. And honestly, I don't think we're going to stop anytime soon. I anticipate a tremendous relationship being built here, and an ongoing for, a long time to come. So we're really excited to see what comes out of her and what we can do together. And, maybe I think we ought to have her on the podcast at some point too. I think that would be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'll be available that day. I don't know what's so funny.
Feel the fucking thrill, baby.
Yeah, but Twilight is made it to the big time. So we're in the New York Post. Phil the Thrill, thank you so much for joining us this week on T-Box Talk. As always, check out T-Box Talk Pod on Instagram, on TikTok. Check out OMADA Golf YouTube channel for the full video cast. If you want to check out Phil blowing the farthest from the pin challenge, that's going to be in the video portion of this podcast, which will be on the OMADA Golf YouTube on Thursday or Friday. The baked potato sandwich video was a huge success, in my opinion.
Massive success.
Massive. Sold a Trilite.
We did. Yeah, we sent out the video in an email campaign last week, and it sold the Trilite. So baked potato sandwich equals Trilite sales, I guess.
Hey, that's literally the whole. Oh, we're not going to give our secrets away, but yeah, that's pretty big.
The baked potato sandwich. I've been getting texts about it, like from friends and stuff, like just ripping me apart.
Ripping you apart?
Well, because it's the microwave potato. It's like people.
They're revolted.
They don't get it. All right, it's not my problem that they don't.
They ain't about that potato life.
They ain't about that potato life, but I am. All right, and if you want to check out the baked potato sandwich video, if you want to cook along with Chef Andrew, check out the OMADA Golf YouTube. Phil with a Thrill, once again, thank you so much for joining us this week. Everybody, have a wonderful week. Peace out. Happy 4th of July.
See ya.